We did some work with Google.
Big companies, man.
Yeah.
Isn't a little thing you got, guys? Trust and believe, man.
Yeah.
Google.
How many women have you worked with so far or helped so far?
Like over 1,000. Always apply pressure on your craft.
Mm.
If you feel like things are not going,
Think the same thing.
And I know that when it comes to businesses, every business has a part of the owner's DNA in it.
exactly.
It's winner of Community Organisation Award for Gender, as well as featured on BBC, the Daily Mail, Sunday Times, the Guardian.
Yeah.
But above all, a great, great woman.
That guilty feeling. Like,
Yeah,
I
like I
should
could be
work
doing
here.
something else right now.
Did I even know what PR was?
Yeah.
When I was doing the show, so like even the articles I've been featured in, I didn't even know. My friend told me this is great PR. I was like, what's PR?
Never, ever, ever neglect the soft skills, man. The skills such as communication, the skills able to talk to people, because those skills, hard skills might change over time, but the soft skills never, ever go out of fashion. This one's going to be an absolute banger.
Big
no
man.
mash, no potatoes. Banger. So guys, stay to the end. You're going to love this one.
Come on.
Let's get it, man. But bro, how you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah?
I'm good. I'm blessed to be
How
here.
you feeling for the episode today?
I'm feeling very good for the episode today.
Yeah.
We've got someone beaming in front of us.
Yeah, wait.
Smiling in front of us.
Excited, guys.
As we like to do, you know how it is right here now. We like to introduce a person properly.
Yeah. Oh, matter of fact, before we introduce the person,
Yeah?
who you already know who it is. One thing we always ask, but we don't actually always ask. We just got to start to ask now.
Yeah.
But one thing we want from people who watch this episode to do
Mm-hmm.
is to pass it on to one person who you know will benefit from it.
I like
Just one person.
Yeah.
That's it. That is it.
I like
But let's
that.
get on with it.
Yeah, no, also on that topic there,
Go for
to
it.
order people to
Mm.
5-star ratings, you know the deal by now.
Mm-hmm.
But without further ado, guys, it's that time I said beforehand. We have Miss Victoria here today.
Welcome.
Hi, guys.
How you doing,
Welcome.
Queen?
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm so excited for this.
You feeling good, yeah?
I'm feeling good.
Yeah?
Can't wait. It's
You're
gonna be
good.
a good episode.
100%. You're going to enjoy this one too. But guys, as a credentials is important.
I was going to say, do you not have the WWE
No, we
intro?
do. So
he loves doing his WWE
welcome in Miss
intro.
Victoria, yeah? Corporate queen, entrepreneur.
Am I called queen?
Yes,
Oh,
you
I
are.
beg to
No,
differ.
corporate queen turned
Okay.
entrepreneur.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Corporate queen turned entrepreneur. Let's
Okay.
say that
Did our
twice.
research, you know what I mean?
Owner of a female-led recruitment agency, which gets women into high-flying roles. Daily Mail Inspiration Women Finance of 2019.
Wow.
Winner of a biggest champion of social mobility in 2018.
Wow.
Winner of Community Organisation Award for Gender, as well as featured on BBC, the Daily Mail, Sunday Times, the Guardian.
Yeah.
But above all, a great, great woman. I
Come
met
on.
Victoria now back in January now. Remember?
Yeah.
We met back in January now, and I can't lie. The moment we met, it was just good vibes.
Yeah.
You're the ones there, smiles, good
Oh,
laughter.
thank you.
Yeah, man, good laughter, man. So obviously, I don't think we've seen each other ever since then, but it's been love from a distance. And obviously, I've told John about you enough times now, so
Yeah.
John already knows.
Oh,
Because it was like, let's get Victoria. I'm like, who's Victoria?
no way.
And then he showed me your profile. I was like, oh, she's dope.
Yeah,
And he told me a little bit
thank
about what you
Thank
do, and I was like, oh yeah, cool. Let's get her on. Man.
100%.
I'm so excited. Thank you.
And here we are today, man. So yeah, I mean, end of the day, we met back then, and we stayed in contact ever since. And here we are today, man. So even that's a quick note to everyone right there, guys. Tap into your network, man. You know what I'm saying? All we did was just smile each other. We started talking, and here we are today.
Yeah.
So guys, like, don't be going to networking events, or even go out in public and just stand there in a quiet, being all shy. Get to know people, man, because you never know what can be at the end of that.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
And I mean, you didn't even. I don't know if you knew this, but you see the people that we're speaking to just before you got here. The guys in the reception bit, the two guys. Oh, did you speak to them when you came back in?
No.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, we literally just met them, and we were just chopping it up. And that's just what we do. And then I guess that's what Rob did when he met you.
Yeah, man.
We just speak to people and say, oh, what you saying? What you saying?
And that's
it.
that's so important, man. You never know, like, who you could meet, like, what that person could. No, it's just even to good vibes in it, like, so yeah.
Precisely. But Queen, before we go any further, what we like to do for all our guests, ask them
Okay.
a very important question,
Mhm.
and it's this: if you had to name this chapter of your life,
Oh.
what would it be called and why?
Oh,
Yeah,
that's such a good question.
It is.
I was not expecting that. Do you know what?
Hmm.
This year is probably called the best of times and the worst of times.
Wow.
Okay. Whoa.
So that's
a long
yeah.
time.
That's a chapter.
Do you know what I mean?
I know
You
it
know
is.
what I mean?
But yeah, that's probably what this
The
year.
best of times, the worst of times.
Yeah.
That's the chapter of your book right now.
Yeah, that's
Why is
probably okay. So I think so that's actually a Charles Dickens quote. So
Oh, right.
essentially, this year is the best of times.
Mhm.
I've literally like it's been such a, and I'll probably speak more about this.
Yeah.
but just an incredible, different, kind of year. With like the moves I've made, the things I've been doing, essentially, like it's just literally been growth this year. I think this year's definitely been the best in terms of growth.
That's amazing.
But the worst of times, I think it has been very challenging, and that comes alongside again what I'm going to talk about in the podcast, like my journey, like, the things I'm doing as well. I wouldn't say like it's the worst, but it's just like it's hard,
difficult.
times. So maybe the best of times and hardest times. I don't know.
I like
hardest times. Yeah,
I like
but but it's just so interesting how like what in your life you could be going through the most amazing period, but it's also can be the hardest period, but that's where growth is at the end of the day.
That's very interesting, because it's true. When you're at the pinnacle, people only see the pinnacle parts, but they don't see it at the top. You can still be going through the storm also.
Yes, and you probably actually
100%.
Yeah, you actually probably will be going, because those new levels require you navigating those spaces in like
100%.
And literally, we were speaking about this the other day. Every new level you go through requires a new version of you.
Wow.
And you see what
that's good.
It does.
Yeah, it does.
Oh yeah, that's what we do when someone's got.
If you say something good,
okay.
click. Yeah.
Wait,
can you wait? Click.
I can't click.
I knew you couldn't click.
Really?
I saw it. She was like this.
I can't click. You know, in primary school, they used to tell me to always do this.
Oh
really?
Did I know how they teach?
They
If
give
you
you the
didn't know how to
second option.
click,
Yeah.
clicking is hand-eye coordination, right?
Is it?
Oh,
Yeah, it's hand-eye.
Yeah.
So that's I think that's
hand-eye,
to teach
okay.
children. But I couldn't, so they said if you can't click,
Yeah.
just do that. You know, my lazy self would just always do this.
My God, I didn't know that.
Hey, listen, man.
Yeah.
In this podcast, you could do that if you want.
Yeah, cool.
If someone's
I
making a
can't
point,
click. Sorry.
that's all good.
But you're saying though, you always say about the new version of you.
Yes, every new level in life,
Mhm.
every time you level up, it requires a new version of you
Yeah.
before you even get there.
And it's hard. It's hard. It's that those growing pains.
Yes.
Like, it's so interesting because, sometimes loads of us want to elevate and we want to reach those new levels, but we don't realize what's expected of us
Precisely.
when we are like when those new levels are required. So I think that's also just super interesting.
Two things I want to say. One, I want to champion you for real quick, right?
Oh.
The reason I want to champion you is because one thing we're very big on is transparency, and one thing you're very big on also is transparency, which is why this is like what do you call it? A wedding made in heaven?
Yeah.
Match made in heaven.
Match made in heaven.
yeah,
Yeah, match made in heaven,
Yeah.
because you're very big on transparency in your journey too. You're not someone who's like only shows the highs of your journey. You show the lows too. Which is something I relate to, because like, what's the point of showing the highlight reels of your life and just the best bits? That's not what life's
That's
about.
life.
Life sometimes it's just you're there in the morning. You're like, I don't want to get out of bed, but I need to do this.
Exactly.
Been there.
And that's the things you do. Yeah, we've been there, man. And you document those bits there. The people who your community see that can realize you're not so superhuman. You're just a normal person too.
Period.
Trying to make it also.
Oh, I'm so glad you like that. Just means a lot, because
Yeah.
that's literally my aim. My aim has always been like, firstly I'll get more into it, but essentially like this year to like show everything, because that's what I love.
Yeah.
I love it when people are raw and
Yeah.
they're real. Like
Yeah.
that's the content I eat up. Like
That's
if you're-
us.
I love it because
Mhm.
that's what I can relate to, because I know every great story requires great times, but also like difficult times. I just appreciate it when people are just like real, and it's hard because I've said this like quite a lot on my channel and just like on my platforms. Putting yourself out there and showing those hard moments and being vulnerable, it's difficult.
Yeah, of course.
It is really difficult, and you don't know. Sometimes you don't know how. No, it's difficult essentially, but I just think I know younger Victoria would really need this. So
100%.
I consistently do it. Like I know from 10 years from now, someone that wants to, build a business or be an entrepreneur, like definitely would like need this. And in those times, are just like, oh, I don't know if this is worth it.
Yeah.
They can relate.
Yes.
And not even just be an entrepreneur, build a business. Anyone just that wants to do something.
And as you said, the hardest bit is always just within it. The hardest bit of anything's within it. When you look back in 10 years' time, when you got to the point where you need to get to, and also you'll still be growing at that point also, you're about to look at this time here, I'll be like, wow, that was just a season of my life.
That's what I'm saying.
The hardest thing about everything is being in that season.
Yeah.
When you overcome it, you're like, oh, that was it.
And it's so interesting, right? Because those seasons, you don't realize that those are the seasons that actually make you.
Yes.
Those are the seasons that build. It's so interesting because, like I was mentioning offline, like me and my friend Alamade, we did a video today all
Big up
about.
Lamade.
Big up Lamade.
Yeah, we did a video all today about like failure and hustle, and like that was one of the things that we were speaking about. That I was speaking about that, like if you look back in your life, right. those hard moments build up the evidence to show you when you're facing new difficult times that you can get through it. And you
100%.
need those times essentially to keep on pushing you forward. So I think just for anyone who's watching this that may be going through like a hard time, no, it's not gonna last, but like no, like when you look at anybody's Wikipedia page, like the goats or the greats, if it was just all easy, would you like?
Yeah, would you even be interested?
Would you be
That's not even a good
interested?
story.
You want like something
Yeah.
like, bro, they did that.
Yeah.
Then they bounce back. No, I can do it.
Yeah.
Like that's who you relate
Precisely.
to, you know, and it builds you. So
100%. What I always say, is growth spurts before the growth pains.
yeah,
Or growth pain before the growth spurts.
Yeah.
So what I mean by that is that you'll go through the pains. You have to go through pains. If you want to do anything great in life,
that's what I'm
you
saying.
need to go through that. But at the other end of those pains is the growth spurts, the greatness, and that's what we're in right now.
Exactly.
That's what we're in right now. But at the end of the day, when you get to the other end of it, you'll be like, wow. And the most important thing about that too is that not only have you got to that point now, but you inspire other people too.
Exactly.
That's what's all about. It's never about us. What we say, what our motto is aspire to inspire.
Yeah.
Aspire to inspire. Because at the end of the day, it's bigger than us.
Yeah.
That's what I love. I am such a big believer of that, and like that's
It's
why
bigger than us.
I really like. I love documenting my journey. I love showing on my like Instagram stories. Go check out if you're not.
Yeah,
But
let's
like
try that Insta.
literally, I love showing like all the moments and stuff because you just don't know who's watching this and like, damn, I need this today. I need it. And I've just always been someone that like I would hate, and I put this on my story yesterday. I would hate to get to the end of my life knowing that I built incredible things and I never brought anyone along with me.
That's the
I
worst
never
thing.
helped anyone.
That's good. That's good.
That just like, what's for me is just like, you know, what's the point? Because, and that brings on the added pressure because at the end of the day, like I'm building and that's hard enough.
Yeah.
You're having a business, but like, I feel like my mission, what I've been placed here, what God has like really wanted me to do is like really inspire and help women. So if I can do that in any shape or way, whilst I'm building,
We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that a lot. And what we said there also is actually such a good point to you because I'm a big believer that we're social beings. Also, we're human beings, one, but also most importantly, we're social beings. Social, the synonym of social is that it's more than one person. Social, you can't have social, but you can't be social by yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So social means you have to be interacting with other people. I'm a big believer that purpose in a whole, I always said before, it's always bigger than you, right? So if you're not inspiring someone else next to you, then what are you actually doing? That's not a purpose. That's your own plans. Purpose is always about inspiring someone else. That's what I believe. So that's my thoughts there. But before we go any further, let's actually go back to the beginning.
Okay.
Because obviously, you are now a business owner now, right? You got your own business now.
Yeah.
Beforehand though, you weren't in a corporate world. You weren't in the entrepreneur world. You're more so in the corporate life, right?
Yeah.
Talk to us about that more so.
So I don't know if I classify. I always get this figure. Like I don't know if I'm classified as corporate because I was going to pursue that. So I'll go back. So back like so went Warwick University, studied management, business management.
Dope.
And then like got to there and I was thinking like, what do I want to do? Consulting. I thought like, that's what I want to do. I want to go. Like, I want to be a consultant, like one of the big fours. And I just always failed with like all the tests.
Okay.
So like I didn't even like I'm a super hard worker, but like I don't know what happened to me at A levels. Like I kind of like flopped my A levels, like repeated my A levels, and then like got to Warwick and just struggled with like getting those assessments and stuff. But was building a program at the time. So I started a program to help young women, and I was building that at the time.
The Us
Us
Group.
program. That was Us
Okay.
program at the time.
Okay.
Now it's transformed into the Us Group. But
Okay.
before it was the Us program, and that was
Okay.
all about helping young women who came from socio-economic disadvantaged backgrounds,
That's
and giving
amazing.
them working with like great organizations and helping them.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, I was just like, I put a lot of my energy there, but I was like applying to these jobs. Like, why am I not getting anything? I remember like me and one of my best guy friends, we would literally do all the online tests. I did them every day for 12 weeks straight, every evening from like 7 to 12 with him.
Eesh.
And I got to the first round for one magic big four.
Yeah.
Sorry,
The big four ones.
Yeah,
Yeah,
big four, big four. And then I just didn't make it. And I performed well on like the assessment day, but I failed the maths test again.
Oh yeah.
And I was just like, I failed that probably like 4 times. I applied to them 4 times.
Mhm.
So I was just like, realized, okay, this is not for me. But again, I was building the US group at the time.
Yeah.
Sorry, US program at the time.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on.
if-
Why did you call it the US program?
Because I feel like it was
Good question.
always about
Mm.
us, not just one person, like
Mhm.
me
I
and
like
you,
that.
us, like
Okay.
building women together.
Mm-hmm.
And the program, I don't know, I was just like, maybe program sounds
But
good.
it's just a program,
yeah,
innit?
but it's just a program. But
Mm.
us was like unity, like I
like
can't
that.
do this by myself.
Social, as we said, was
Social
social
beings.
beings.
Period.
Yeah.
And then, so I was, was building the US program. And then I realized, no, I was selected to be one of the Daily Mail Inspirational Women, which was really
That's dope.
great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in 2019, which was nice.
Well
And
done.
at the award ceremony, I met the CEO of my first company. So I literally just took to talk to her about what I was doing. Like, I was graduating in July and it was May and I had no job. Like,
Oh
I
wow.
was rejected from everything.
Yeah.
Come work with me. Like,
Wow, just like that.
Yeah, she
The
was
power
like,
of networking, man.
she was like, yeah. She was
Yeah.
just like, I love your story. Like, come and work with me for 5 months and let's see. So I was in PR
Okay.
for a company called MSC Saatchi,
Okay.
which was great.
Yeah.
Did 5 months there.
Mm.
Then realized, don't want to really do this anymore. Then moved to a company called BBH,
Okay.
which I loved. Which was
Okay.
that has and it's so interesting because I'm like I run my own business now, but my year there within COVID has provided me with the fundamental skills
That's what I say.
needed to like really succeed in my business, and I did not
100%.
enjoy it at the time.
Oh,
But
right.
now looking back, I realized I could not have like just the attention to detail, the working under the pressure,
Yeah.
like my managers, just the standard. Sorry, that's the standard I had to work to. Now when it comes to my own business, like I don't like the standard is high. And it's because of what? Of how I learned. Like,
100%.
So I'm very grateful. In the time you don't see it. And I was working on one of the biggest accounts
Wow.
during the biggest account there during lockdown, and that company was like one of the most affected by
Wow.
COVID in a good way.
Yeah,
So there was
okay.
loads of business.
Okay.
So it was very intense. And then I was working on one of
Okay.
the biggest campaigns.
Okay.
So if you can imagine, and I was new, like literally just joined,
Thrown straight into the deep end.
just thrown into, but just imagine
how
how
you
much
grow
you
though.
would learn,
Yeah,
how
that's how
much
you
you would
grow.
grow, how much
Yeah.
you would literally, the work. Like I remember sometimes I'd be in my bed and my back would be sweaty.
Wow.
Because it was just so intense.
Yeah.
Wow.
But like now when it's like business, like it's like, what are you crying about? Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
And also something you enjoy now.
oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But-
That's interesting. So you're telling me, yeah, so you had all these job opportunities which you didn't get with the place you're applying for. You went to the event where you won the award.
Yeah.
You saw a CEO.
Yeah.
She was like,
Come work for me.
come work for me. You started there. You liked that 5 months. You finished that one. Went to the next role now.
And the next role, what was interesting about that, I was at the US program, was
Yeah.
part of this program,
Yeah.
Okay.
speed networking session,
Yeah.
Right.
and one of the managers,
Yeah.
I was sitting with him, and he said, "Come and work. Like whenever you need a job, come and work for us."
Wow.
That's dope.
And that's how I got my second job.
That's crazy.
It's
That's
networking.
2 times now
Yeah.
through the power of your words and through
Yeah,
the
and my
power of
work.
networking.
And your
got a
work,
place.
exactly.
So that's why I
Your work
always say
carries
to
you there.
people, like, things may not come the conventional way,
Yeah.
but always apply pressure on your craft. Like, if you feel like things are not going,
Think the same
I
thing.
like that.
Yeah.
no, but honestly, if you feel like things are not coming the conventional way, like, use whatever's in your hands, make it, speak to who you need to speak to.
Yeah.
When a moment comes, like, don't just see it as like, what can she do? No, you don't know what doors can be opened.
Yeah.
And these are like in advertising, like / PR. These are like the best companies.
Wow.
Yeah, and I just like, it was literally because I was so focused on at least what I can control.
Yeah. And it was interesting too because you didn't want to go down that path necessarily long term of advertising and stuff like that.
No,
But you learned so many skills in that season there, which are now helping your business now.
and do you know what? Like, I'm so glad I worked for a PR company and an advertising company, because if you run your own business,
You need those things.
marketing and sales go hand in
Hand in
hand.
hand.
PR, if you have good PR for your business, you can, like, it helps you with
So
clients. So
much.
it's just like,
Literally, look, the reason that you were at that place to even meet those people for the jobs is because of your PR.
Yeah. Literally.
I guess it's even kind of indirect as well, because did you even know what you were doing at the time in terms of the PR?
Did I even know what PR was? When I was
Damn.
doing the show, so like even the articles I've been featured in, I didn't even know. My friend told me this is great PR. I was like, what's PR?
Yeah.
Wow.
This is like, like I was building these things and literally it just came from passion. It was just like, what do I want to do? I didn't even know the technical, I didn't even know the fundamentals of like a business, you know, what an event includes. When people said like, tell us the bits and bits, I'm just saying, whatever I want to do, like, you know, let me just do the best that I can do. Like, you know, my events, like I haven't had funding sometimes. I'll just like graft. I remember my first event, there was no food. I went to all the shops on my high street. Like, look, I'm doing this. Like, do you have anything? But now obviously we don't do that no more. They all paid events. It's just, that was just the fundamentals.
I love that, man. So what, boom. So you want PR, advertising kind of, right? And now you pivoted now to work with yourself now. What made you make that jump?
Yeah, so right before that, I was working for a tech recruitment company.
Okay.
Which was great. So
Yeah.
And as you can see, I jumped quite a bit. So 5 months, a year and a half, and then 3 months.
Okay.
Interesting.
But,
Why is that? Why were you jumping so often?
Because I just knew, I've realized now looking back that role, like the 9 to 5 is just not for me. I'm not built for that. Like, and that's literally what I've realized. Like, I was just jumping like all the time, trying to, and I just don't feel like that even builds a good track record for you.
Yeah, or jumping around.
Well, I mean, I don't know when it comes to the whole corporate side of things. Is that bad? Like,
I mean, when you're so early in your journey too, jumping around every single 3 months, it's not like someone is very loyal.
So that you're not reliable
and loyal.
Imagine if you had someone, you're recruiting someone to join your marketing agency, and you've just seen that they've jumped on around. It's like, okay, what's going on? What do you want to do?
You wouldn't really want them on board because they'll probably jump ship on you.
Exactly. So that was the thing. I was always jumping around, but I didn't care. Like, that's the thing. I didn't care. I was always and then it was my last role. I was there for 3 months, and I picked it up very quick.
Okay.
Right. And then I'd speak to my colleagues like, is there more for me to like essentially develop? She's like, to be honest, like, you're at the end now, like, you've learned it quite far.
You know everything.
You've learned everything far. Now it's just about refining the skills. Okay, so that's very different because you can learn, but you're still sloppy, so you need to be slick, right? But like, I was still at the end where it was just like, I was like, nah, I'm good. Like, and I used to, but one thing I really appreciate, right? So that was a startup, and I worked. I love building relationships, right, and networking, and I was able to build a great relationship with my CEO at the time. Okay. So I was just like, I really want to learn from you, like, as a startup. Like, I'm, you know, building this as well. Interested in recruitment a bit more. Can I like do sessions with you, like, one-on-one? He was like, wow, no one's ever asked me that. If you're serious, come in at 7 a.m. once a week. So we would do 7 a.m. sessions. I lived in North London.
What was the place?
To South. Wow. Before work. So I would come in at 7 a.m. He would like teach me different stuff, and like I would ask him any questions, and he was incredible, like so incredible. But then there was one session I was just like, I had a conversation the day before, and then I was just like, do you know what? It's time for me to leave.
Wow.
It's time for me to take this risk on myself. And there was a couple of things that build up to that point.
Yeah.
Number one is this jumping that I realized. This jumping that I realized. Number two, I had to ask myself, did I see myself progressing in any of these companies? Did I see myself wanting my boss's job? Did I see myself wanting to be here? No.
Wow.
Am I happy? I'm learning loads, but this is not what I want my life to look like. If I'm writing a book and this is what my life is looking like, and so many people, they loved it. But for me, I was like, this is not my book.
I like that though. You're thinking about it from the outside perspective, holistically. Like, do I really want this to to be my story? And you're literally you saw yourself as the author.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just like, if someone's reading my book, it's like, I'm on this chapter. Is that what I want to? Why I want my story to be like? No, I want it to be a bit like crazy. But let's be honest, we'll talk about crazy, because when you want crazy, get ready for crazy.
Trust me. Trust me.
But I want it to be like, wow, she did that, and like she flipped up. And so I just decided crazy, like, had a conversation day before. Next day, like, we had our 7 a.m. session, and I presented like my rough business plan to him, and then he basically said like, I'm going to leave. And he was just like, wow, this is such a, it's a loss for the business, but personally, I understand why you're doing that.
Okay.
Wow.
And I think that was really nice as well to know. So I had a month,
Yeah.
and then, I started the real journey that I've been
So
on.
one thing you said, which I really liked too, was about how essentially you spoke about, you looked at your bosses and you said to yourself, do I see myself having their jobs in a few years' time? You're like, no. I think that's so important too, because a lot of people, when they're like, maybe they want to start entrepreneurship, right? But they're not thinking as in a sense where you're thinking so far ahead. You'll think to yourself, in 20, 30 years' time, can I see myself in your job? No. But a lot of people, they want to take that jump or that leap of faith, but they're not thinking long term enough to even see what's gonna be the consequence if I stay in this job. So you'll think to yourself from early, if I stay here, this is my consequence. And you're like, all right, cool, let me pivot, and then you went straight to a business.
Yeah.
So for everyone right now out there who's on the fence right now, thinking about, entrepreneurship or working corporate, if you are very passionate about what you're doing, calculate what if the person in your role right now, your boss, do you want their role? If the answer is still no, then start assessing how you can make sure you can pivot and do your own thing, as Victoria's done today, because it can be done.
And weigh up your options as well. Because it's not just a thing of like, I want to be an entrepreneur. Bow.
Yeah.
I'm an entrepreneur now. Let me quit. Weigh up your options.
Yes.
See what is actually going on in your life. See what your outgoings are. See what your incomings are. If you've got anything coming up, and if you've got anything going at that time.
Yeah.
Obviously, Victoria had the US program at the time that she was building, and it was doing well, of course, clearly, and it's still doing well. Do you know what I mean?
So do you know what's so So thank you. But what's so interesting is that, I think it's very, how do I say this? I think when you're doing entrepreneurship, I used to always think like everyone should be an entrepreneur, everyone should. But I understand why this is not for everyone.
Not for everyone.
And I think Jonathan, you said a lot of interesting things. I think you really do need to assess. And I think a great way to assess if this is for you is just how well you can respond to failure. Like that is one of the biggest things.
Such a good point.
If you struggle with failure, and failure is like failure can be completely different things. Months maybe where you don't hear anything back from a client, or like no one's buying your stuff. Are you mentally going to withstand those periods? Because it is tough.
100%.
It's tough. It's lonely. It's hard. It's the most rewarding thing that I've done. Like, I'm on my path and I'm enjoying it. But like, again, my perception this year has changed so much into what I would say. Because sometimes, you know what, for some people, I would say, do you know what? Stay in your 9 to 5, build a side hustle on the side. And I will, I can still help you like with understanding like, business principles and stuff. But like doing entrepreneurship full time, right? I think doing entrepreneurship full time, you just have to know that whatever comes your way, and it's easier said than done until you're only really in it. But like, be okay with risk, be okay with failing, be okay with things not going your way, but knowing, and things not coming as well in the short run as well. But then knowing long term, you can like live the life you've always wanted.
Risk appetite is a big thing as well.
Oh my God.
You gotta love risk. Listen, man, I've been on it.
Yeah.
I love me a little bit. I'm not a gambler though. You a gambler?
Oh,
Oh,
I'm a
no.
gambler. Am I a gambler? I just feel like my whole life, like I've always loved risk. I've never been. Am I a gambler? Am I a gambler?
Do you gamble?
No.
Yeah. That's what I'm asking, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
And you
Okay,
like
sorry.
risk.
No.
Like casinos, you think?
I used to.
Did
But
you?
it's not money like money.
Oh.
It's like
You guys talk about
online kind of
actually
stuff.
real gambling?
No, not real.
No, I
gambling.
thought you mean like entrepreneurship. Like, do you like gambling? Like,
Oh no, like, yeah, but that's what I mean by
figurative.
risk though. And
Yeah.
having that risk
Oh,
appetite.
I love risk.
I have that risk appetite in it, and I'll do stuff even though it has high risk. Even like trading, I used to do a little bit of trading, and that's also high risk, high reward, but also low losses, high losses.
Yeah, because when I was building my business, like, so funny, because normally sometimes people say if you want to become an entrepreneur, at least have a reoccurring revenue coming in from whatever you're doing. Where it's like 2K, 5K, 10K a month, so that okay, this is actually
Proof of concept.
You're proving your business model, like it's a legit business. Like, I literally just had a business plan, an idea, and I was like, do you know what? I'm gonna make it work, and I'm grateful that things are going well for me. But like,
And to make it very clear to everyone right now, so everyone's on the same page.
Yeah.
I won't say it in my words, but I want you to back me up, right? So what you do essentially, you have a women's-led recruitment agency which helps women get into roles from essentially junior level to the highest levels, right? And you help women in particular who are from disadvantaged backgrounds. Am I right or am I wrong?
Okay, so this was interesting because I think that's based a lot on the video, right? Of what you got. So essentially, again, with business, your business model changes. You try different things. You see what the market needs, and then you adapt.
Okay.
So mine now is actually an events-based business. So our slogan is like we successfully strengthen businesses who are looking to hire great women. So that's what we do now, but we do it in the form, it is recruitment. And we offer like 3 different services. So one is just like normal recruitment, agency recruitment, where, you know, companies would come to us, they want a role, we would find them great women, do the whole
That's dope.
That's process. Dope. Give some great women some jobs, but then I have introduced this new way of working now, and it's we do branding events for companies that want to push out their brand and really, you know, attract great women. So I use like my pool, my the network that I've been able to build out, and we offer those events. And then lastly, we have recruitment events, which I think is really cool and interesting, where we offer, again, similar sort, and an opportunity for companies to, you know, promote their services, but with the whole aspect that it's an event, you can hire en masse and you can find great talent. But what's really interesting, that this is very new to like my industry. Like people normally just do normal recruitment. So I've come in with this new model with mainly like the recruitment events, and people don't do that. So I've been faced with
it's a very good idea though. Very good idea.
Even you saying it now, I haven't heard of something.
Exactly.
It's a very good
and
idea,
I've spoken to so many people, and this literally all the recruitment events came from merging what I've always done, events with us program, and with like recruitment. I was just like, why don't I just do like a recruitment event? And it's new, like it's a whole new concept, but it's just like make it fun, make the process fun, and bring talent that wants those roles to your spaces and recruit live on the day. So that's what I've been pushing.
That's
and
really,
like
really good.
But it's so interesting because when you are developing like a whole new business model that hasn't been proven, people don't, you can think it's the most amazing idea, but it always comes back to like, what do people need?
What does the market need?
What does the market need?
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because you can have the most amazing idea, but you have to. So I've had to, and that's one of the things with entrepreneurship that's been so hard this year. Is there's been so many elements changing. It's not only just been developing the product, it's finding the right customer, and sometimes you're like, damn, no one wants it. No, you're reaching out to the wrong person. You have the wrong offering. You have to like constantly. So I've literally flipped. So that's why it's so interesting. Like when with your definition, that's why I was at the beginning of the year, and I've just been like changing, adapting, speaking to customers, speaking to clients, still delivering work, and then changing. And like I went through a period where I was like, I'll jump on calls. And this was so interesting. I want to share this soon in one of my YouTube videos. I'll jump on calls, and I was confused with what my name was. But you have to just act like, because I'm figuring it out as I go along. Like I'm literally driving a plane whilst building at the same time.
Wow. I like that.
That's wow.
That's literally entrepreneurship.
That's entrepreneurship. So you can jump on calls, and then they'll be like, oh yeah, us recruitment. Actually, it's the us group. And then you jump off the call, and you're like, damn, I made that mistake. But then you figure out, actually, let me remove that, scrap that today, change this, us group. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell. I'm gonna stop talking.
I'm taking you in. But you know what? One thing I'm pretty sure, like, regardless of the fact you pivoted, right, your business model, is the long-term goal still the same? The long-term goal still the same for you?
Oh,
and what is a long-term goal too?
The long-term goal with my events-based business is really just to support, just give as many women as possible.
I love that.
You know, great jobs, and like, you know, help them find their, you know, their jobs that they love, and, you know, supporting great companies. And like
I've seen you work with Google.
It's
very good.
Yeah, we did some work with Google.
Big companies, man. Isn't a little thing you got, you know, guys? Trust and believe, man. Google.
How many women have you worked with so far, or helped so far? Do you know?
So like with the program side, like over 1,000.
Wow,
that's amazing. That's amazing.
It's definitely like it's a full journey. It's a full journey, and it's like, yeah, like you have to be passionate, and that's honestly with business. You have to make it work.
Mm.
You have to really love what you do, because If not, it's hard. It's really hard.
And you get
100%.
tested.
And you know what you
You
said
have to
about
get tested.
you said about the loneliness and how like the hard times, right?
Yeah.
But what I understand about business, right, is that you have that long term goal, the long term vision of where you want to go and where you want to take it, keeps you going through those times. I can talk about the podcast, right, where there's been seasons where we're like, damn, where's this going? No, so there's been seasons where it's not been as like productive in terms of like people aren't really tapping in as much. But the thing for us, what keeps us going through those seasons there is remembering the long term goal. The long term goal, which is to inspire every single person around the world. That's the vision. That's the goal. So when we think about that, yeah, even when the views aren't going there, first of all, we don't care about that because we know in the future it will come. But as we always say,
I see you guys like, do you know Earn Your Legend?
Yeah.
I
Earn Your
literally-
Leisure. Yeah.
I was just like, they're gonna be like that. I have no doubt.
amen.
Like I literally see you guys like that, and I know you guys will remember these beginnings.
Yeah.
And when you do, make sure you like quote that in, like got this part out.
Yeah.
Absolutely, like it's gonna happen.
Amen, man. But that's the thing. When you go through the seasons where it's tough, for example, when you said it's lonely, or for us, we'll talk about how, for example, you said it's lonely, and for us, we're saying how like the views weren't necessarily coming in the right way. What keeps us going is the long term goal, and I feel for everyone right now too. Anything you do in life, you need to have a long term goal in what you're doing. You have to, because if not, when life comes, when the wind comes and the storm comes, you're gone. But if you have a long term goal in place, you know, alright, cool. Yeah, the storm might come, but I know my vision. And vision is everything and more, man. I'm genuinely believe that.
And you have to like, I think it's perspective matters as well. And I think sometimes perspective can only be seen in like hindsight, like when you look back and you realize that like, okay, this period now, like I'm going through some things that's like this period now, like really truly in like 5-10 years time, will I be like
thinking about this?
Yeah,
It's
not
not even you say 5-10 years time, even
just
5
5
months
months
time.
from now.
5
No.
months time.
What is
But-
are you, wait, hold on. Bring me in. Bring
Yeah.
me in.
No,
Where did you go?
Oh, no, I just had to speak to someone quickly.
Now we'll talk about how essentially you go through seasons of life, right? Yeah. And in 5-10 years time, you'll be thinking to yourself, what was I even stressing?
Yeah.
But then we even said it's not in 5-10 years time. It's 5 months time. You think to yourself, even 5 minutes sometimes. You're like, raw, like that call you went on. Damn, that was peak. I should have said that right. 5 minutes later, all right, cool, pivot, we move. But once you have a long term goal, and you know where you want to go with the vision, then you'll be able to get through the storms in the moment. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. It's just, I think, yeah, it's definitely long-term perception, but I think sometimes in the moment it can be really difficult to see that, and it can, and I always say like take that time to like, you know, feel whatever you're feeling.
Yes.
But then, okay, what's next?
Yeah.
Let's move. Let's keep it moving. Let's keep on trying. Let's keep on using whatever's in our hand and making things happen until something sticks, and you'll realize that actually those moments, those difficult moments, they make you.
Yeah. And you have literally the resources that you need to get started.
You do.
Like even
Big
you,
point.
like even
Big
if you
point.
didn't know you had the resources to get started, you had the resources
You
to get started.
have, and it's about identifying those resources for you, because no one's gonna do that for you.
Yeah.
100%.
No one is. You have to look and see, okay, what do I have in my hands? What can I do? What do I enjoy? I think that's such a big part. Like, what do you enjoy? Again, like, what did your younger self like? What have you in, like, you know, what do you love doing? Like, make sure you like tap into that, because like doing anything is hard. It's hard. It's hard enough, but if you do not enjoy it, or you don't feel like you're solving a genuine problem, you're
That's
not
it.
interested, you will not last.
The question, right? Yeah.
It's too hard.
Question, right? Yeah. Obviously. Question, though, right? Yeah. So obviously you're big on helping women, right? In particular, what helped you pivot into that area? Not pivot. What helped you specify a niche in that area of people in particular?
Oh, good question. So I've literally always been passionate about helping women. I have 4 other siblings, and then so it's 4 out of 5 are girls.
Okay.
And I'm the oldest daughter, the
Okay.
Ada. And so, you know, she takes like, well, you know, it's just you're kind of like the second mother.
Yeah, second mom. Yeah.
Really. And I've just always gravitated a lot to like just like, you know, just building good friendships with girls. And I think I just realized more and more like there are just so many sometimes struggles that we face, and all those added barriers that we face with, like, you know, whether it's like, you know, navigating the workspace, or being confident, or going after a certain role, or just like, you know, the glass ceiling, or just different things. And just like the more and more I looked into it, I was just like, there's actually a problem I can solve here, or I can help. So I'm just so big on like, gender equality.
Yes, important
And
stuff.
But again, I know that just really big on that, and just making sure that I can help, as many women as possible, because sometimes we need a bit of sometimes we need extra
A push.
push and just
Support.
support and
That's dope. I mean, how's it been though in terms of like what you're doing right now and getting women to roles? How has that been, and how am I saying this properly? So essentially, what I'm saying, what's the results of what you've done so far helping women get into roles?
That's such a good
question.
question. Yeah. I think the most beautiful thing is knowing that you can actually change someone's life completely with just a new opportunity. So for example, I'll give you a great example. There's one woman in particular that I helped her get a role for this great company who I'm I love working with. And she was working in retail before that. So she was working in Starbucks. I would literally always come into Starbucks every day. Like, I love just chatting to them. Like, it puts after gym session, 3 times a week, I love talking to them. And more we just started to click, and I found
this is real world, like real life.
Yeah.
I thought she would have got in contact through a website or something like. So this is you going to Starbucks after you hitting a gym. You're a gym lady as well. Big up yourself.
Yeah.
After you hitting a gym, you go and see her.
Yeah.
And then you build that connection,
and
then
I'm just
continue.
what's the long-term goal? And she was like, I got a degree here. Like, I'm just trying to think about what's next and blah blah. And then an opportunity came up, and I was like, I'd love to put you forward for this. So we do also have I would advertise our roles to our databases and socials and different platforms. But just sometimes if I have an opportunity come and I have to move it quite fast, I just think, okay, who's messaged me recently, who do I know, who's looking for a role,
network,
as well as putting it out there and giving everyone an opportunity. But I was just do you know what, I have this opportunity that's just come. This is so nice, 'cause I've never actually spoken about this, but I have this opportunity that's just come up. I think you'd be so great for the role. Let's work together. And she was just you know what, absolutely.
Wow.
But I think she was a little bit nervous, and she had never gone through sometimes people don't go through a proper recruitment process, right? Or don't have don't know how to sometimes struggle with understanding how do I really shine throughout this process. And I would just always be there for her and just be like, no, you can do this, let's do this, we're gonna make this happen. There was even one time we was doing a mock interview. She came to my house, and
wow.
I get sometimes my girls just helping women,
wow.
it just means a lot to me. So she was doing the mock interview in my room, and then when she got the job, it's just realizing actually, damn, you've been able to transform someone's life.
You had a hand in it.
And change someone. Someone has been able to increase their salary because of you.
That's amazing.
That's so it's just such a rewarding thing, and you get to be paid to do that, which is just so nice. Yeah.
Wow. That's really amazing. And you know what it is,
that's one of many. So it's just love that. Yeah.
Damn, that's really good. So what I was gonna say after that though is that do you see yourself doing something like this long term then, or something you want to transition into and increase the scope of the US group?
Yeah, I think that's I think so. Why it's actually called the US Group now is because I wanted to merge. So it was called US Recruitment and then US Programs. I merged it together. I was like, let me just put this all as a group, the US Group. Now both are all gone, and it's just the group where I just recruit and do events. Really. I do see this growing. I do see this becoming somewhere we could go to different parts of the world.
Definitely.
And work with
100%.
Everywhere who are looking to really grow and really bring on great talent as well. So yeah, definitely do want to continue doing great events, bring on more companies, more recruitment events.
I love that, man. And what's one thing you would say to a woman out there struggling to get a job? What's a word of wisdom for them?
Oh, what a question. I would definitely say what is for you will never pass you. Like
Talk to us.
even though like I know that's like sometimes people hear that, but like no, like the role that's for you, the right role, if you apply yourself and you like do whatever, you will find it. There's nothing worse than running into a job and you shouldn't really be in that job.
Yeah.
And I've seen that. I've experienced that at times, right? So I would definitely say to women who like you're struggling or like just know what is for you is not going to pass you. Also, if you're struggling, what can you do in that period? Is there a new skill you can learn? You can do part-time job and like build something on the side, like a side hustle or like a business. Like we live in the digital era where you can do so
many
much,
things, man.
you know. So so I definitely would say like, you know, like I would definitely say it's not the end. Get in touch with me on the Us Group.
Come on. Wait, can you? What's the Instagram handle?
Just the Us Group official.
The Us Group
so
official.
Or just message me on Instagram as well. I always reply to DM. So get in touch there. But essentially, like no, like it won't. You will find something eventually.
I think that's so important too, because a lot of people, when they're in a moment or when they're going through the season, they think that's it. We spoke about this quite recently ourselves actually in terms of adversities and ally. Like when you're going through adversity, you feel like, damn, this is it. This is my season. This is what I'm gonna be. But you're saying that we are reinforcing to the people is like, look, you can go through a season, but most importantly, you can overcome it. I think that's so important for people to know that, especially women, especially queens out there too, because I saw one quote you posted on your story, right? I was staggered by it.
Oh, what?
You said how like, so say there's a role, it was a role, right? Say there's one role. If there's like, say there's a role, right, and two people apply for the role, one man, one woman. A woman is, if there's like 5 credentials on a role, a woman will apply. A man will apply if he hits 3 parts of the 5. But a woman only apply if she hits all parts of the role.
100%.
Really?
So men only apply to roles if they hit at least 60%.
Yeah, 3
women
out of
need
5.
to feel like 100% before she applies to a role. And I've had that. I've put people in roles where they've come to me and they're like, but I don't take this and this, but you do this, and I'm like, you do this and this. I had one woman who she literally like was doing something incredible in her spare time and wasn't sure if she should even speak about that. I was just like, what? WA, and she got the job straight away. Like it's literally, it's understanding as well. And I think it's the confidence thing. It's so hard because sometimes we're taught, don't say too much, like you know.
Were you saying we as in women?
Women, sorry, women are told like, you know, that, you know, I don't know, we're always told like don't do too much or don't say too much, or, you know, just the gender norms of like how society works, you know. I think it's just like, it's just understanding like, no, like that doesn't mean that you should like belittle, that doesn't mean that you need to like
put yourself in a box.
Or diminish yourself, not even diminish yourself, but like play it small essentially. Like even if you don't meet 100%,
go for anyway.
I remember I applied to an opportunity and you could only be based in the US for it.
I saw that. The mentorship program.
Yeah, I applied for that opportunity.
Talk to me about that, please, because that's really dope.
Yeah. So I was reading this like a Harvard Business School report that Black women in the US are like starting more businesses than anybody else, any other group.
Is it?
And I was like,
That's
but
dope,
the problem is that they're not, only 3% are maturing to big businesses because the lack of funding needed to grow at scale. So I was just like, wow, this is so interesting. Like, I love it. Read it so quick. Then I looked at who the authors were. Then I followed them on LinkedIn. And then one of the authors was advertising this program. So the Black Women's Entrepreneurship and Leadership Program. And I was just like, oh, this is cool. And then realized you had to earn over a certain, so you had to earn over 60,000. This is when I was still my corporate job, so I didn't have any money. And also you had to be based in the US. I was just like, okay, anyway. And I literally applied. I applied to it, and I was just like, I don't have, my business doesn't meet this, but I'm passionate, I'm hardworking, I will do what you need me to do. I will like stay up the sessions, etc. And then when it came to the state, I was just like, I ticked, I think, Atlanta, because I love Atlanta. And then I just put in, when it says others, actually I'm based in the UK, but like if you could give me this opportunity, it would be amazing. And they did, and they gave me a scholarship for that.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was such a great scheme. It was so crazy though, because that was on US time, so the classes would be like from 11 to 1 a.m. in the morning. But I would always come, like, and I learned so much. I've so connected with so many incredible women. But I just think as well, that's where I just learned, like, you know, in this life, you don't like, even if you don't meet like, who cares, bro? Just
Yeah,
reply.
just go anyway.
What's the worst that they can say?
Honestly.
Exactly.
No.
The worst that you can get is just them not replying.
Yeah, exactly.
That's literally it.
And they're not even gonna say it to your face. They're not gonna call you. They're just
Exactly.
gonna reply. That's why having paper applications are great, because you
Yeah.
never. Like, I'll just apply. I say, yeah, I live in it. What can you
What's
do?
that gonna
And if I
happen?
get it, I get it.
I
If I
get
don't,
it.
I don't.
And I got it.
Yeah,
So,
and you did get it.
yeah. So it's
And
just like, why
Even
not?
even in terms of like advice for the ladies who are looking for jobs right now, as obviously you spoke about earlier, like what would you say are other big tips that you would give them?
Good question.
So big tips for jobs.
A job for them, actually, not just a job, like a job that would actually suit them.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, finding it, I think, was the biggest question.
I think I just think I'm really big on like the new digital era we're in, where like now there's a lot of new jobs I think that will come out in like just over the next 10 years, right? So I've like I did loads of research into this, that loads of, I think like around 30% of the jobs that are now here will disappear over in the next 10 years. So it's
Heard
just so
about that.
important to make sure that you are at least trying to develop one high income in demand skill.
Okay.
So like whether that's copywriting, digital marketing, like just understanding what is actually, see, because sometimes we look to the past and see what were the jobs that everyone else is
The
doing.
doctors, the lawyers.
No, yeah, like all the jobs are that, like, you know, people have been doing for centuries, but like robots are coming, like they're gonna sweep up, you know, so many of the jobs. You know, think about what's needed for the future, and then not enough of us are doing like, okay, in 10 years time, what's this? How can I be already there? Like, so if you're maybe struggling, I would always research what's the 10 top skills needed in 2030.
That's a really good tip.
And learn one now. At least so when
Wow.
2030 comes, you're sorted for anything.
In terms of skills for 2030, right? Never, ever, ever neglect the soft skills, man. The skills such as communication, the skills to be able to talk to people, because those skills, hard skills might change over time, but the soft skills never, ever go out of fashion.
What's the difference between hard skills and
So,
soft skills?
For example, like a soft skill is communicating.
Okay.
Throughout all seasons of life, you got like, you could be in 20, 50 years time. You could be able to. You're going to be able to. You're going to English. You're going to have to be able to communicate with people.
Of course.
You have to. Another soft skill, for example,
Empathy.
empathy, interpersonal skills. Same thing. Empathy, interpersonal skills. These skills are going to be needed throughout all seasons. So
100%.
in the same way, we should go and develop not hard skills, skills for the 10 years time.
Yeah.
Always make sure you learn. Always make sure you're
Fundamentals.
keeping close the soft skills, which can help you in many years to come.
And are the hard skills like digital, like what you said, like digital marketing and stuff?
Yeah.
Ah, right. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I know the difference.
Yeah.
now.
Definitely.
But yeah, tip number 2.
Tip number 2 for finding great jobs, I would definitely always say try to find someone in your field that you've liked their career path, for example, like so using LinkedIn and finding someone. And this doesn't take
like the author that you spoke about. Yeah.
but hers was more because I read the article. But you can find people, like you can type in like the company you're interested in, or just like the field, and try and track someone's journey to see what they've done.
Oh, that's
and
smart.
then
Wait, what? Going through the LinkedIn, like the timeline thing of like where they. Oh,
see
that's
what they
smart.
did.
Yeah.
And also, like, people forget like the power of like reaching out to people, especially on platforms like
100%.
LinkedIn.
Yeah.
One tip I would say for someone that's really struggling with getting a job, and this actually helped me get a job, is something that like Gary Vee talks about a lot, but like I kind of did it before. When there was one summer I didn't get an internship, I literally whatever industry you're looking for, go to boutique firms. Boutique firms, because they need support and they want support. I literally got a list of maybe 200 companies.
Wow.
Send emails to every single one, attach my my CV, and again, this is all effort. Like this is effort, nothing's guaranteed. But attached my CV, wrote a little blurb about myself, emailed 200 companies. I think 3 got back to me. 1 gave me an interview and a job. So I was with them for 10 weeks.
Wow.
And that was an executive search company, which later down the line employed one of my girls, which also employed one of my girls.
Yeah.
And what's the other thing? No, that's it. They employed one of my girls.
Yeah.
So like it's an executive search, I didn't realize at the time, is recruitment on the highest level.
Wow. Okay.
What's that? Say that again.
Executive search. It's like executive.
Searching for executives.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
So search for them.
Oh wow.
So searching for like C-suite.
See,
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's mad. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's the I think that's the best way to find a job if you're struggling. Obviously job boards and stuff, but if you really want to like
a specific job as well.
yeah,
And
sorry?
I said a specific job, like finding a specific job with a specific
Yeah.
company, doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I feel like one key theme of you and your journey is just effort. Like you just do stuff and you do it like because you say, okay, I'm gonna stick to this. You said
I'ma stick-
200 companies.
That's crazy.
And you said one of them got back
Well,
to you.
one of them got back to me. No, three. I
Three
think
got
around three got back to me.
That's 3 out of 200.
Yeah, and
That's
that's
like
the-
just over 1%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then one gave me a full time. But look at what that I was able to build from that one.
Yeah.
That was essentially the industry 4 years back,
Mm-hmm.
4 years ago that I'm in now. I didn't even
Wow.
understand what
Wow.
that was nature when I was there.
yeah.
And they employed one of my candidates. So
Yeah.
it just shows that like if you're good at what you're doing and you know you can flip things. Like,
Yeah.
You know
honestly.
what? My takeaway from that is appreciate every single season you're in
Yeah.
because back then you didn't know what you wanted to do, or maybe you wanted to do, maybe you had an idea what you wanted to do, but you applied.
Yeah.
You trust that process, and now the fruits of that is that now you've been able to leave the company. It helps someone else from your program get into that company. Trust the process, guys, man, because you actually never know what's going to happen at the end of it. Obviously, when we're going through turmoil and hardship, we're thinking, damn, why me? But one thing which we like to say now is, why not me? Because when you're in that season, you're thinking to yourself, like, why me? When you make it out of the end of it now, you're saying to yourself, wow, I went through that. And most importantly, I learned lessons.
And now I can tell people like that I help get roles, or I just, you know, when I pitch to these companies, there's such a deeper reason to why I do stuff. This was, I'm really, you know, I believe I'll go on to like build other great companies.
Amen.
But this company is really unique, not only with our services, but the fact is that I'm so passionate about this because I know what it means to be someone that's super talented,
Yeah.
super hard working, but has often been overlooked or often never had like applied for jobs, and I'm just not getting I'm not getting accepted because of like I didn't know how to do a psychometric test.
Yeah.
So again, like going back,
Test.
Like the maths test.
maths test.
Oh, right.
So it's going back to those moments of like, you know, those 4 times, those 4
Yeah.
years when I applied to like that company.
Yeah.
Those 4 years when I applied to that big 4 company and I
Yeah.
didn't get it has been one of the like the burdens or the pains for why I'm building this company to help women get.
What do we say? Grow pains before the growth spurts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It all comes full circle, man, because
Exactly.
nothing in life comes easy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Nothing in life
Nothing
comes
worth
easy.
having in life. comes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a
That's
very,
the
very
biggest
good
one.
addition to it. It's true
real.
because if you want, look, you can have anything in life if it's easy. But if you want something real, tangible, and real long term, and with real impact, which we're doing right now, you have to go through the growth pains, man. But I think even saying that too, right? Like the seasons where like I just want to encourage you real quick, Queen. Like what you're doing right now, you might have seasons where you don't feel like you're being as productive or making the success you want to. But I want you to just remember, like, boom, what you're doing right now, it will pay off. Because what we always say is reps. What you're doing right now, I'm sure women around the world, all women around the world will be coming to your product. Because what you're doing, you do it with a real passion.
Yeah.
And as we always say, if you don't have a real passion for anything, it'll die out. But you clearly have a real burn desire to help women improve their lives, and that's really important, man.
Yeah, man. I just feel like for this time, for this period, it's like this is what I'm supposed to be doing,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like the most fulfilling thing ever, man. Like,
So on that note, what's the favorite part of running this business for you so far?
what's my favorite part? Like,
Yeah.
I love putting on like in general, like I love events.
Yeah.
Like so I run like this, and then I
Mhm.
also have something called the collective dinners, which bring like women together.
I've seen that.
Yeah,
I've seen
and
that.
we have like we have, you know, it's all under the theme of supporting women and
Mhm.
who are
That's
building
dope.
their brands and businesses.
That's dope.
And
My friend goes to one of them actually.
Oh really?
Anne Marie, yeah.
Oh, Anne Marie.
Yeah.
she's
Lovely
good.
girl, man.
Yeah.
Small world,
So,
man.
yeah, and essentially just to bring women together. And I just tried it. I was just like, let me see, and people love it. Like even this one, like we sold out like quick, and it's just like, wow.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Clap for that stuff here.
Thank
Hey,
you. Like
bro.
it's really.
You know what I'm saying?
When
Yeah.
did I learn? Anyway,
Hey,
Oh, no,
making
you-
making
it's
progress,
small,
making
small.
progress, making progress.
Small.
yeah.
But yeah, it was saying.
And like I love events. Like I literally, and I think that came like I just love organizing. I love like creating experiences for people so people can come in like, wow, this space looks. I love aesthetics. I love things that look good. So I have a big event coming up actually.
Oh.
Soon. By the time this comes out, it will be out. So, yeah.
Well, also, in advance, well done.
Yeah.
Well
exactly.
done. Well done. Yeah, well done. Good, man.
Like, to think at the beginning of this year, I had no clients. I had no understanding of this. I just had 3 months experience
Yeah.
and literally my phone and my laptop and like, I quit my job. I'm going to make this work. The amount of like, I've done courses, I've paid for mentorship. I've like literally stayed up nights, like watching videos, courses, like praying, crying, like trying again.
Yeah, I hear that one. Yeah.
Like just speaking to great companies, and just the fact that like now I get to like put on these like this event.
You deserve it, Queen.
100%.
You
It's gonna
deserve
be
it.
such a like it's so cool.
Wait,
Like,
hold on. Are the man allowed?
but no, sorry, it's only 4 women. This
Okay,
event,
okay.
but it's just gonna be really, really fun. Like, yeah, like I gave the brief to we've got an event planner, like
Yeah.
Wow.
decorate.
Wow.
We've got an event planner, like pulling some things together.
Yeah.
And she showed me some ideas right now. I'm just like, oh, like this has been my dream since I've started
Wow.
doing these events. Like
Wow.
5 years ago, 6 years ago. So yeah, it's just been, it's a full circle. And like now that I'm merging like events, but it's like a hiring event.
I'll be honest with you, yeah. I think that is an absolutely amazing idea, because one of the biggest, what's the word?
Barriers?
Perfect word. One of the biggest barriers for people getting to big roles is not the fact that they don't understand the maths, it's the tests.
Yeah.
I can relate to that. Back in the day, when I was doing a test, enough times I'll just mess up.
Yeah.
But the thing is, though, when you're seeing someone face to face now, all the psychometric tests, all the tests you have to do are out the window now. Face to face, can we build a rapport? Because more time than not, yeah, when you're working with someone, it's not really about how clever you are. It's about how can we build a relationship.
Yeah.
You just hired you got a company, bro, so you know about this
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
So,
what
yeah,
did
yeah.
you
You got.
So I got my first editor on board. So I got my editor and accountant like at the same kind of time.
Wow.
And it was funny because I saw one of your videos as well on your YouTube channel, and you had your first team meeting.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I just had mine as well.
Oh, I love
So
that.
it was amazing. Yeah.
But that's amazing. Like that's
Yeah.
that is so amazing. Like to know, like to hear. Yeah, man. It's just like, and I think what's so nice about this, I'm building this on my own terms, and like no one can take what I'm building off me. Like no
Yeah.
one can do what I'm doing. Like, or people can do it, but no one can do it like me.
No,
What I'm
they
doing
can't-
is-
they can't do what you're doing because you're doing it.
Yeah.
Yep,
You
yeah,
see what I'm
100%,
saying? It's a
100%.
you. You are us, bro. You are us
Yeah.
group.
Yeah.
And you
yeah.
started it, you've run it, and I know that when it comes to businesses, every business has a part of the owner's DNA in it.
Exactly.
It's got a part of your DNA in it. So
Yeah.
who's the best person to run it for now?
Exactly.
It's you. But then when it comes to the big scale,
Yeah.
it might be smart to get a CEO and all that kind of stuff. But then that's when the time comes, right? And that's if you even want it to be.
Yeah. No, definitely. And it's like when these companies, I think that's another, like when these companies come to me, or like we're, looking to partner, what makes us really stand out again is the fact that like I've been able to build this community, and I, understand actually how to recruit great talent from diverse backgrounds. If you want that, like companies are just like, okay, how? What do we do? And I'm very specific. I've got like my ideal company, but yeah.
Do companies need to meet a particular quota of like people from, I guess, disadvantaged backgrounds and stuff?
No,
Because I know. Sorry to cut you, but I know when it comes to like certain companies, it's like, oh yeah, we need some more like people of color in here. We need some more women in here. That kind of. I don't know if that's an actual thing, but I understand. I get the vibe.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing. They need like some sort of balance.
It's mainly C-suite that they may need, some companies,
Right.
but like generally, I think companies would want to work with companies like mine because they would want to become more diverse.
Yeah.
So that's where the problem is, and the problem that we're trying to help them solve. But yeah,
I hear it. And what's cool is obviously we spoke about the highlights of the role, which are very, very important. What's the lowest parts of the role for you then?
having to call someone and say they didn't get the job when you feel like they deserve it, when you
tough.
feel like a lot is riding on it, when you've like
Yeah.
really been excited,
Yeah.
that's difficult.
Yeah.
Low parts is like when there's a client almost gonna sign on, and then just something happens, and like it's just like no. Being by yourself, not really having many who get what you're going through. Like, you know, when you're working 9 to 5, there's other people who are doing similar things to you who get you. When you're building a business and it's just so different. Like you are doing all roles. I'm not only
Spoke
doing.
about that.
Yeah,
Spoke about
yeah.
that.
Wearing all the hats, bare
You're
cap,
wearing all the
all
hats.
of it, yeah.
And like in service-based business, you know as well, it's not
Mm.
only just having clients, it's like managing those clients, making
Mhm.
sure that you over-deliver every
Mhm.
single time for those
Always.
clients. Then it's making sure that you bring new clients
Yeah.
in. It's making sure that, you know, advertising is still going good, that your like your content is still being pushed out. And then with me, I have a community I need to manage with like,
Mhm.
you know, making sure my
All by
talent.
herself.
Yeah, so at the moment it's like solo now, but like making sure that my talent are good and making sure that like, you know, CVs are coming through and I look after CVs, I edit CVs and, you know, and then still run 100 people events as well. So
And building processes as
Yes.
well at
Oh.
the same time, because that is so big.
Yeah.
Building processes is how you scale, right? And you're literally like, I like the way that you said it. You said something like building a plane when it's taking off. Or something.
Yeah,
So this is
yeah.
what my business coach said to me like just yesterday, 2 days ago. And I'm like, I'm gonna use this everywhere I
I
go.
like that.
Like
We got your business
entrepreneurship.
coach.
We got the
Huh?
business coach.
We
man.
got your business coach.
Yeah,
Yeah.
big up Nard. She's amazing. Literally, entrepreneurship or building a business is literally like building a plane. At the same time, you're also driving that plane.
It's crazy though, but it's true though, because you're
So,
learning.
like literally,
That's
You
literally
learn
how
off your
it
own
That's
goes.
literally
mistakes.
it.
You learn off your own mistakes all the time. Like, and you're learning forward. You're failing forward.
and you don't know what you don't know, so you're literally building. And sometimes you're putting the wing
The wrong
where
part. Yeah.
where the
I like
suitcase
that.
should be going, and
Yeah,
then you have to take it
exactly.
off, and then you know steady the.
That's the beautiful
plane.
thing about it though. You said about the loneliness bit too. How do you deal with that bit there?
Loneliness. I
Yeah.
think it's like kind of knowing that just comes with the role. Like kind
Yeah.
of, sometimes you have to just suck it up and like move with it.
Mm.
But also at the same time connecting with people who are
Mhm.
even if it's small, it's
Yeah.
small.
Yeah.
Connecting people on the same journey as you.
Yeah.
That's why I started the collective dinners as well, to bring like women together who maybe, you know, at the beginning of their journeys
Yeah.
just have ideas but they want to find their people, like they want to find similar people. But I think entrepreneurship, the harsh truth is, or just building a business, you will be lonely and you just have to find joy in that loneliness. If you're a solo entrepreneur, and that's why you need to love what you do.
Bro.
Personally, I feel like it's periods, it's seasons of loneliness.
Okay.
And I feel like the network side of things, even in terms of your dinner, is so important. It's so important. Even if the person isn't even doing exactly what you're doing in terms of their business, it's so important to have that network around you of people who know what it's like to be in that place where it's lonely. Because like when you're at your lows, they're low.
Yeah.
And when you're at your highs, they're kind of high as well.
Yeah.
But the lows are
The lo-
especially low.
Do you know how many lows I've had? Lows sometimes I'll be like, I don't want to do this. Lows I'll cry. And I say, wow, you can pick yourself up the next day and go again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's entrepreneurship, isn't it?
Yeah. I guess that's life as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Entrepreneurship is literally like a
But it's life on steroids, though,
like
isn't it?
life. Yeah,
Oh.
life on
It's life on
steroids.
steroids.
Honestly.
Like, but it's what I could never do anything else. The
Wow.
amount that you learn,
Yeah.
the amount I've learned in this art is insane.
Wow.
Like processes,
Mm.
like just, you know, client management.
Mhm.
I had no background in sales. Like when people say they did
Mm.
sales, they're like, oh, what's that? Like I've literally like, it's almost like I've done a boot camp in like everything sales, like selling to clients.
Yeah.
So like I've done courses, watched people on YouTube who speak about sales, read books, and it's just like you have to teach yourself because no one is coming to save you. No one's
Honestly.
going to teach you anything.
That's one of the biggest things about entrepreneurship as well, because you have to be your own boss, because you are the boss, right?
Yeah,
You have
yeah,
to be
yeah,
your own
yeah.
boss. You have to pick yourself up. You have to tell what time you go to work,
Yeah.
Yes.
what time you turn up.
Yes.
You have to set pace for everybody else that's gonna be in
Yeah.
your business.
It's hard though. I think it's like as well like taking breaks. That could be very
Mm.
like, you know, that guilty feeling. Like
Yeah,
I
like
should
I could be doing
working.
something else right now.
Because you know, I think it's so
Yeah.
interesting when you leave and you start working full time. I feel
Mhm.
like your brain is always on. It's
Yeah.
never switched off. Like my brain, every minute I have spare, I'm literally like, oh, did I send that email? Did I? And that's business. Like that's why again, this is not for everyone. Like
Yeah.
you know, it's hard.
Yeah.
But it's so rewarding.
Yeah,
It's things
indeed.
like I remember when I went on holiday.
But Jamaica.
No, when I went to when did I go quickly? Recently, Lanzarote, and I just booked that like 1 week before. I was like, I need to get out, I need a break. And even when I was
Did
there,
you take your laptop?
yeah,
It's safer for you too, isn't it?
Huh?
It's safer for you too.
Yeah, I took mine
I
too.
took one. I've
Yeah.
got a big trip coming up in a few months. Yeah,
Where you going?
Nigeria.
Ooh.
Oh yeah. Is that where you're from?
Yeah,
Okay.
but I'll probably take my laptop with me there.
But then how do you take breaks then? When do you take breaks?
Shall I be honest as well? Like again, like you know, I want to be honest. I think there's a I feel like if you want to entrepreneurship in the beginning, I don't know how much balance there is. Like, I don't know. Like,
I literally, the words that are coming out of your mouth, I literally said them to Rob.
Yeah.
that's the
don't
honest
know.
truth.
It's
And
growth,
like,
innit?
some people will say like, oh, that's a lot. That's like too toxic, blah, blah, blah. But it's the nature of the game. You talk to any entrepreneur, you talk to any successful business person, and they will tell you the beginning stages, sometimes there's no balance. When someone secures their bag and like things are looking good, that's where they'll like say, oh, like, you know, I'm here and I'm living this life. But in the beginning, what was you doing, sis? Yeah, you were literally doing what you did. But this comes back to the thing, like, trust me, when you love what you're doing and you're building a business that you genuinely love, I could work like 17 hours a day. I swear to you,
Wow.
it does not even feel like it at all. Like, this event that I've got coming up, it's hard. Like, it's again, like, so many stakeholders involved, so many targets I need to reach, plus still do my normal tasks, but I absolutely love it.
Wow. That is absolutely inspiring. I want to ask you one final question, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've been talking a long time.
No, it's been amazing, man. It links to what we're saying right now. I'll say it very slowly. Is Victoria happy with where she is right now on her journey of life?
Ooh, that's a good question.
You're saying a lot of realness, and I'm loving it. I know bro's loving it too.
Am I happy with where
Happy
I
where you are
am
right now?
I think I'm on the right track.
Okay.
I think there is definitely this thing called I'm good, like, mentally, but there's this thing called founder's depression, where it's just
Wow.
like, yeah, it's actually a real concept where just like being a founder, there's so many ups and there's so many downs in it, and it's so easy to like be like, just especially in the beginning is rough.
Yeah.
It's rough, but like, I am happy. I'm
Founder's
happy.
depression, I've never heard that before,
I'm happy-ish.
Ish.
To say
Please
that.
continue. Please
Yeah.
elaborate.
No, I'm happy-ish. Like, there's ups and there's downs, and I'm learning and I'm growing. I'm loving where I am, but as well, I'm growing, and growth is hard and growth is painful.
Yeah.
So to come in here and say like, oh yeah, I'm happy, everything is like amazing, not necessarily. I'm growing. I'm going through hard periods with like business. I'm going through challenging periods with growing a business, which is requiring so much from me, so much development and so much growth, that I just think it's like, there's just so many nuances. I think it's just it's interesting. It's a fun place to be. And yeah, it's fun and exciting. Yeah.
Once again, I said beforehand, what I love about you is your transparency, queen.
Yeah.
Because I've never, ever, ever heard about founder's depression, but I like think about it. It makes sense though, because at the end of the day,
But I disclaimer, I'm really not. I'm not.
no, the term itself.
Yeah, but it just shows that like being a founder is hard.
Yeah, of course, queen. But that's the thing. What I love about you is your transparency, because you can easily just say, yeah, this is amazing. But the truth is, there's hard times too. There's rough times. But the thing is though, I know for a fact you're gonna get through it though.
Yeah, and I love what I do. Like, I love it. I love putting on things and people are just like, well, I love helping a woman get like. I don't think like I haven't really gravitated like being able to change someone's whole world for a job.
It's crazy.
And that does mean a lot to people. That just like is the most amazing thing.
And my thinking too about that is that even in 10 years' time, they always remember you. You're the person who helped them get that job.
Yeah.
And that to me,
Yeah.
that's what we call priceless.
Yeah, for real.
That's what we call priceless. But on that note, there.
You can get to make good money as well. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hey, that's the thing. When you do priceless stuff for people, the bypass product of that is money. That's what it is. You chase value, and everything else comes to you. I'm a big believer in that. You don't chase money; you always attract it.
Yeah.
That's real. Yeah, that
You don't chase money; you attract money. It's like everything in life, even like anything in life. You don't chase it; you attract it.
See how you were chasing those jobs. You were
Wow.
chasing jobs, and then you got to that place when you were chasing value by doing the US program at the time, and then you were also chasing the jobs, but you were chasing value for the US program, and then what that brought you to was actually the job that you were chasing.
Yeah. And you know what's so crazy? It's like, I remember there was one sermon, because I was just like, I remember there was one day that I was just like, why am I not getting this job? Why am I not getting this job? And I was at church one week, and the pastor was talking about sometimes you may be just sharpening a tree and you're using the wrong
Tool.
tool, and that tool that you want to use is what's in your hand, and it's not for the right place. It's not for that trunk. So I was like trying to, get these jobs, but I'm not. That's not right.
It's not for
like,
you.
yeah, it's not for me.
As we always say, what's for you will never miss you.
Period.
So on that note, there, Queen, I hope my final words to you is that continue doing what you're doing. Like this event, I know for a fact by the time it's come out now, it'll go amazingly well.
When is this out?
I don't know. It'll be out sometime in October.
It'll be out soon. It'll be out soon.
If there's still spaces, it's a free event. Free.
Oh, it's a free event.
It's a free event.
I listen, run it, man.
Yeah, but it's on a
Watch the
weekday.
podcast.
Oh wow.
It's a
On a
weekday
weekday as
though.
well.
It's
Well,
half term.
What
The
day would it be?
26th of October.
What day would that be?
Wednesday.
We'll edit this
A
bit out, by
Wednesday.
the way. We'll edit this bit out
Why?
because I don't think it'll be out in October though.
November.
What, this?
Yeah, it'll probably be out in November.
Fair enough.
Oh, well, then regardless, like, we would just be talking about the event, innit?
The event would be amazing.
It's already happened.
It's
and
already
been
amazing. It was
Do you know what I
amazing.
mean?
Yeah.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And as a matter of fact, we can even drop this up as a clip and then send it over to you
Yeah.
for a little
Perfect.
bit.
Yeah,
promo.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely. Love
Yeah.
that.
100%. But yeah, as I was saying, I wish you all the best, Queen.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Likewise, I wish you all the best too.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
we wish you all the best too. Best of favor what you're doing. Continue to inspire the women too. And as you said too, make sure you're helping people. But the more you help people live a life of purpose, the more, as you said, the more money will come to you. But we don't chase the money, we chase value.
Yeah.
When you chase value, you help people's lives out. Everything else will come to you.
I love that.
So Queen, on that note there,
Mm.
We're out.
on that note there,
Bye,
we're out,
guys.
man.
Bye.
And guys, before we leave,
Mm.
you want to say anything else, bro? Yeah.
I'm
Just
good, bro.
subscribe, guys.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
comment, share with friends. Bro said at the start.
Uh-huh.
Continue to spread the movement, man.
Definitely, if you're a woman, find me on IG. I love IG
Yes,
for the,
indeed.
Yes.
and tap in.
Tap
Come
in.
on, tap in,
Guys,
tap in.
love.
Love. See you later.
In a bit. That was good,
Amazing.
man.
That was so
Yeah,
good.
so do you like it?
I loved it.